Coming up on 5 Minute News. Abortion ruling sets off new court fights across the country. Russian missile attack hits busy shopping mall in Ukraine. And 46 people smuggled into the US found dead in trailer. It's Tuesday, June 28. I'm Anthony Davis. Judges in Louisiana and Utah temporarily blocked abortion bans on Monday, while a federal court in South Carolina said a law sharply restricting the procedure would take effect there immediately, as the battle over whether women may end pregnancies shifted from the nation's highest court to the courthouses around the country. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision on Friday to end constitutional protection for abortion opened the gates for a wave of litigation. One side sought quickly to put statewide bans into effect, and the other tried to stop or at least delay such measures. Much of Monday's court activity focused on trigger laws, adopted in 13 states that were designed to take effect swiftly upon last week's ruling. Additional lawsuits could also target old anti-abortion laws that were left on the books in some states and went unenforced under Roe. Newer abortion restrictions that were put on hold pending the Supreme Court ruling are also coming back into play. Rulings to put trigger laws on hold came swiftly in Utah and Louisiana. A Utah judge blocked that state's near-total abortion ban from going into effect for 14 days to allow time for the court to hear challenges to the state's trigger law. Planned Parenthood had challenged the law, which contains narrow exceptions for rape, incest, or the mother's health, saying the law violates the equal protection and privacy provisions in the state constitution. In Louisiana, a judge in New Orleans, a liberal city in a conservative state, temporarily blocked enforcement of that state's trigger law ban on abortion after abortion rights activists argued that it is unclear. The ruling is in effect pending a July 8 hearing. At least one of the state's 3 abortion clinics said it would resume performing procedures today. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, a Republican and staunch abortion opponent, vowed to fight the judge's ruling and enforce the law. Russian long-range bombers struck a crowded shopping mall in Ukraine's central city of Kremenchuk with a missile on Monday, raising fears of what President Volodymyr Zelensky called an unimaginable number of victims in one of the most daring terrorist attacks in European history. Zelensky said that many of the more than 1,000 civilians inside the mall managed to escape. Giant plumes of black smoke, dust and orange flames emanated from the wreckage, with emergency crews rushing in to search broken metal and concrete for victims and put out fires. The casualty figures were difficult to determine as rescuers searched the smouldering rubble. The regional governor, Dmytro Lunin, said at least 15 people were dead and more than 40 wounded. At Ukraine's request, the UN Security Council scheduled an emergency meeting in New York today to discuss the attack. Russia has repeatedly denied it targets civilian infrastructure, even though Russian attacks have hit other shopping malls, theaters, hospitals, kindergartens, and apartment buildings. The missile strike unfolded as Western leaders pledged continued support for Ukraine, and the world's major economies prepared new sanctions against Russia, including a price cap on oil and higher tariffs on goods. Meanwhile, the US appeared ready to respond to Zelensky's call for more air defense systems, and NATO planned to increase the size of its rapid reaction forces nearly 8-fold, up to 300,000 troops. Meanwhile, any encroachment on the Crimea Peninsula by a NATO member state could amount to a declaration of war on Russia, which could lead to World War III. Russia's former president Dmitry Medvedev, now deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, was quoted as saying on Monday. And if this is done by a NATO member state, this means conflict with the entire North Atlantic Alliance, a World War III, a complete catastrophe, he said. At least 46 people have been found dead inside a tractor-trailer in a presumed migrant smuggling attempt in South Texas. An official said 16 others in the truck were taken to hospitals in San Antonio, where the bodies were found on Monday. It may be the deadliest tragedy among thousands who have died attempting to cross the U.S. border from Mexico in recent decades. 10 migrants died in 2017 after being trapped inside a truck that was parked at a Walmart in San Antonio. In 2003, 19 migrants were found in a sweltering truck southeast of San Antonio. Big rigs emerged as a popular smuggling method in the early 1990s amid a surge in U.S. border enforcement in San Diego and El Paso, Texas, which were the busiest corridors for illegal crossings. Before that, people paid small fees to mom-and-pop operators to get them across a largely unguarded border. As crossing became exponentially more difficult after the 2001 terror attacks in the U.S., migrants were led through more dangerous terrain and paid thousands of dollars more. Heat poses a serious danger, particularly when temperatures can rise severely inside vehicles. Weather in the San Antonio area was mostly cloudy yesterday, but temperatures swelled to a high of 103 degrees Fahrenheit on Monday, with high humidity. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.